Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here. So, I got a question about this camera's kind of like. Let's fix this thing. There we go. I think that's better. Whatever. So, I got this question from Oaktay, who says, Sup. Sup. I like that. Sup. Truthfully, I still am thinking that watching the news is a total waste of time. But everyone around me says stuff like, you have to watch the news to stay up to date with everything, and so on. So I want to ask whether you actively take some of your time to stay up to date with what's happening around the world. So I'll be honest with you. Every once in a while, I do go over to the news and check out a news website, even though I know I shouldn't, right? It's really a big fucking waste of time. I totally agree with you that it's a waste of time, and you don't need to stay up on it. I mean, the best explanation that people have is what you just said. They say, you have to watch the news to stay up to date with everything. Why do you have to stay up to date with everything? Why does it concern you, right? I want you to think about this. And a lot of people argue, no, you got to be a good citizen. No, you have to understand what's going on. Look, unless there's going to be literally a militia or federal agents knocking down my door, or there's going to be grenades and thrown into the streets and total chaos, I don't really need to know what the fuck is going on, right? It doesn't really affect me, and when it does, I'll find out. Someone will tell me. I don't need to know this stuff, right? And I want you to think about this. I want you to think about, when was the last time that something that you read on the news, okay, or that you saw on the news, actually influence a decision you made in your life for a positive impact, okay? Right? And I'm not saying that you can't come up with some kind of corner case somewhere where you could tie this together, but in general, if you think about it, how much time have you wasted like staying up to date on current events for political scandals and all this bullshit and all the stuff that's going on, right, in the world, versus how much has that actually benefited you in your life? And what you'll probably find is that it's actually a negative benefit, right? That not only have you wasted the time, but it's cost you some emotional energy, okay, and has possibly wasted not just your time, but like I said, your effort, right? Arguing with people on the internet, losing friends, okay, debating things that aren't worth debating at all, okay. Now, that doesn't mean that that you don't know what's going on, because here's the thing, again, like I said, is that people will tell you. You will hear, it'll come up in conversation, then you can ask people and you can get your information that way if you absolutely need this information, but you don't need most of this information, right? I mean, think about it. Almost all of the political stuff that's going on, almost all this stuff, and plus, besides the point, right, is the fact that most of the news and the media today is what our president likes to call fake news. It's very true, though. It's a lot of bullshit. A lot of it is not the actual real stuff that's important that's going on. It's just, and this has always been news, right? News, at least for the most part, has always been sensational, trying to get your attention, right? It's entertainment. It is not facts. It's not information, right? You want facts and information, go to Wikipedia and get your information that way. You don't need to know immediately what's happening. The other thing I'll say about this too in general, which is this idea that you don't need updates quite as often as what you think, right? So there's an optimal cadence for getting information where that information is useful. Otherwise, aside from that cadence, it becomes noise and it actually becomes less useful, right? So for instance, let's take my YouTube channel, right? For instance, okay? I get analytics on like how many subscribers I have, how many views and watch time and all this stuff. And based on that information, I could make actions, right? I could take actions. I could make different kinds of videos and whatnot. But it does mean no good, really, if I just start looking at the stats on my YouTube channel every 5 minutes and looking at different video stats. That's not really useful, okay? It's going to be a lot of information. It's going to lead me in the wrong direction because I'm going to see, this going up and this is going down, and it doesn't matter. But maybe a cadence of once a day might be useful. That might even be too much. Or maybe once a week would actually be beneficial, or maybe once a month, right? There's different cadences at which gaining information actually is useful, and above that frequency it becomes not very useful, right? If you're cooking something in the oven, all right? Sitting there and staring at it the whole time is not useful. Getting that information, right? But maybe going and seeing, okay, in 2 minutes, does it look like it's cooking? Does it look like the cake is rising? Whatever it is, you know what I mean? Does it look like it's browning, right? The information that you receive is just as important as how you receive it and how frequently you receive it, because that's going to inform how you do things, right? The same thing, you know, if you think about like lifting weights or like getting on the scale, like losing weight. If you jump on the scale 15 times a day, what is that telling you? It's not telling you anything. It's, in fact, you're going to get a lot of noise because maybe you just ate lunch. Maybe you just, went for a run, and so your weight's going to be going up and down. Whereas if you checked it every day or once a week, that'd be a better cadence. So same thing with news, right? I think that, you know, every once in a while to know what's going on in the world is great, but you're going to find that out, okay? You don't have to know it every single minute, right? You can become addicted. A lot of people, you know, they check the news every 5 minutes to see what's going on. What a waste of fucking time. So anyway, that's my opinion on it. If you have an opinion on it, I don't care, but no. Go ahead, leave a comment below, and click the subscribe button if you haven't already. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.